Do bankers, are they any different than gun runners? Are they? Do I have to go back to World War I where the head of the Fed was a guy by the name of Warburg, but over in Germany, the head of the German central bank, his name was Warburg? Yeah, so we want to change, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, part of my new thing, and this is a little bit of news, and that is, how about that Messiah thing going with Obama, the Obama love fest? Mama, they all love him, you know. It's a love thing. Have you seen that before with leaders, you know? Our splendid leader, our special leader. Now they're running the commercials with the pledge. I pledge. You know, I listened to one gal, I pledge to help children that are sick. Well, what was she doing the week before? How come, you know? But this whole thing was for the Obama thing, and it ends with who? It ends with Demi Moore, who says, I pledge to support my president, like, do whatever he wants. I mean, come on, people. Okay? You know, we got globalist bankers stealing from you daily, poisoning you, but more importantly, think about it. What are they doing for your children? What are they setting up for your children's children? And what has really changed? If you hire all the same people, do you really expect change? But they sold you change. When I say they, it was the media who sold you this change, right? Who sold you this Obama thing. Well, we'll see. We'll do a show in about a year from now, and we'll find out, hey, did he stop wireless wiretapping or whatever? The big news this week was he's going to close Gitmo. He didn't say he was going to free all those people who we got to go back to what do we stand for? Were they innocent until proven guilty? Or were they guilty, incarcerated, tortured? What do you, viewers, what do you stand for? Is that what you want? I think it was a famous guy who said, it's better that, you know, an innocent man go free than, than we, convict 10, guilty people. You got to start understanding that, if we want to have the type of society or a great nation or anything, that you consider good, you got to be good. You can't be a crook. So I got a couple quotes with that thought. We're going to give you a couple quotes now. This is, I like these. These should be good for you. And this first one's from Thomas Jefferson, one of my favorites. I can't help it. And he says, I sincerely believe that the banking establishments are more dangerous than standing armies, and that the principle of spending money to be paid by posterity under the name of funding is but swindling futurity on a large scale. That's one to think about. Quote number 2, this is Daniel Webster. What a great guy. They got a college up in New Hampshire. They liked him so much. Of all the contrivances for cheating the laboring classes of mankind, none has been more effective than that which deludes them with paper money. So we chose Geithner, the head of the New York Fed, that private banking cartel that creates money from nothing and steals from you and your family. He's going to run your treasury. That's change. Okay, how about a Supreme Court decision thing? This I thought, because it was a good quote. This is the U.S. Supreme Court, Craig versus Missouri, okay? And that was emitting bills of credit, comma, or the creation of money by private corporations is what is expressly forbidden in Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution. So I've got to ask you, is that Federal Reserve a public bank or private bank? My next question always, is it part of our government or is it like Federal Express, the shipping company? Not part of our government. That was a Supreme Court decision. You should think about this because it's your liberties and your children's liberties that we talk about when you come to the real story. And welcome aboard. All right, the other one, this is Frederick Bassett, and this is from his writings, The Law. When plunder becomes a way of life for a group of men living together in a society, they create for themselves in the course of time a legal system that authorizes it and a moral code that glorifies it. Wow. What does Wall Street mean to you? And as you viewers out there who may have had money invested with that guy, Madoff, was he able to do it alone? Is he the only cockroach? So when you go to a restaurant and you see a cockroach, a Madoff, ask yourself, is that the only one? So anyway, some more thoughts, but we're going to go with the show with, and that is, hey, remember corporatism and fascism? It was Mussolini who said the good description for fascism is corporatism. Yeah, so they're bailing out all these corporations and stealing from you to do it. I'd like it better. If you're going to do something as socialist as that, give the money to the people. You're taking it from them. So anyway, I'm getting kind of windy there. Now, what else do we have for you? This one I like, and maybe I'll get close to ending with it. We're going to go with some Second Amendment stuff because I want you to realize something from the movie V for Vendetta, and that is that ideas are bulletproof. So I got a couple ideas for you. Here's two readings from the Constitution for you. Remember we talked a little earlier about how Homeland Security was hiring ex-KGB heads, okay? East German Stasi, how the guy running it's a dual citizen. So I got a couple ones, and this has to do with security. This is Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution. I'm going to quote for you. It's got to do with security. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. What kind of state do you want? The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The other one I had for you, I wanted to read for you Article 13. Thought it was pretty good because we're now talking about universal service, bringing back the draft. Obama's already, bombing into Pakistan now? So I got this one. This is Article 13, Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude. Want me to read that again? Neither slavery or involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. Not you're guilty until proven innocent. Remember, what do we stand for? Innocence until the proof of guilt. Okay, so anyway, shall exist within the United States. That's pretty good, isn't it? These guys who wrote this stuff, not wrote, but thought and lived and taught others. Amazing. Here's some Second Amendment quotes to end the show with. These are, some high points. Think about this. This is good stuff because these people aren't dummies. My first one, the Second Amendment is not about giving the people guns for sporting use. The Second Amendment specifically states that the reason for arms is the security of a free state. I read that to you, didn't I? Yeah. Hence, the intent of the Second Amendment is to grant citizens the right to military arms. Hard to believe, isn't it? But it's all about that idea that's bulletproof. The idea of liberty and freedom and what you want for your posterity. How about the strongest reason for people to retain the right to keep and bear arms is as a last resort to protect themselves against tyranny in government. That was by Thomas Jefferson. God, I like that guy. I could use a couple more of them. Obama doesn't seem like that kind of guy. But what the heck, it's still a good thing that we were able to show the people in 140 years, those who could be slaves, at least by the color, could then be president. But if you find out it's all bankers and globalists behind them, have you been lied to before? And by the way, with this new Homeland Security thing and all those Patriot Acts and Military Commission Act, what happens when you get a seance? When you get a crook in government? Would it be the first time? Could they use these new powers against just their adversaries, their political adversaries? That's a thought. Anyway, guard with jealous attention the public liberty. Suspect everyone who approaches that jewel. Unfortunately, nothing will preserve it but downright force. Whenever you give up that force, you are ruined. Oh, sir, we shall have fine times indeed, if to punish tyrants it were only sufficient to assemble the people. Well, I've got a couple clips here, or quote pieces for you. I want you to understand that the reason we do this show, and whether or not you become, fearful from the things that I say, or you become awake and aware, we do the show for the future. And the future of what? The future of our children.